You may be thinking, what is this? Well, some of the most popular shonen shows known today wouldn't have been a thing if it wasn't for this. The anime is called Astro Boy, and it's the first shonen anime ever. But how did anime go from this to this?
紫
Shout out to Anime Dojo, by the way. They made a video on the evolution of anime fights that inspired me to make this video. So shout out to them. The most popular category watching anime today is shonen. Beautiful weaving of storytelling and fighting is able to capture the attention of fans worldwide. I mean, it obviously captured you if you're watching this video. But was shonen anime always as beautiful and prolific as it is today? Debuting on September 7th, 1963, Astro Boy has been dubbed the godfather of anime. Astro Boy was created by Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka.
With other works under his belt like Blackjack and Dororo. It seems like Tezuka had a thing for hits. Astro Boy follows a kid robot that was built by a scientist whose son died in a traffic accident. Astro Boy is the son's replacement. Now that I'm reading the synopsis, that sounds so cryptic. From the reviews I've seen, Astro Boy is an episodic shonen that is pedestalized only because of how much effort and how big of a budget was put into the show. Mind you that this was back in the 60s, where anime culture was nowhere near as big as it is today. But as a standalone shonen anime, it wasn't the best. For the next era of shonen, we skip ahead to the 80s, where we find two timeless shows that guided shonen anime to where it is today. Dragon Ball and Fist of the North Star. Yes, Dragon Ball Z came out in the 80s. No, I will not talk about it. Fist of the North Star was the epitome of violent shonen, bringing a heavy influence of gore into the shonen space. Yes! I love you for that. Fist of the North Star has such a heavy influence in today's shonen, having many references in today's anime. Even the best manga ever made, Berserk, shows heavy influence from North Star. At the same time, not much needs to be said about Dragon Ball. I guess I'll talk about Dragon Ball Z. Keeping my personal bias for the show out of the equation, Dragon Ball Z could be called the most influential and popular show ever created, spanning across anime and live action. This is definitely where shonen hit peak viewership, and it's why it's the most popular category in the world today. I know I love to bash on Dragon Ball Z, but in all honesty, there's not enough compliments I could give them to acknowledge all their accolades in this video. Just understand that Dragon Ball Z, objectively, is the king of shonen in terms of impression. The 90s, crack, cocaine, and anime. Wasn't that the 80s? Anime in general was at a rapid increase in the 90s. Culture was growing at an exponential rate. Shonen was eating. We were introduced to one of the greatest writers of all time, Yoshiro Togashi, writing not one, but two top 10 anime of all time. If you don't get that reference, just go and check out this video right here. Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, two of my personal favorites. Both series able to stand the test of time. Hunter x Hunter a little less since its remake is a lot more popular than the original version, but definitely Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu is timeless as a shonen anime and introduced us to a common trope in shonen, tournament arcs. Thing is, they executed their tournament to perfection and showed future anime how to do it correctly. Yu Yu Hakusho has the best tournament arc in all of anime, by the way. But saving the best for last, nothing has propelled shonen like the show One Piece has. It's hard to think that One Piece came out in the 90s and is still going on right now, and will keep on going for a few more years. Fair to say though that One Piece is what all shonen aim to be. Okay, I might have glazed a little too much, but for real, One Piece deserves to be on the pedestal because it really helped shonen evolve today. One Piece took so many different tropes and developed them into something entirely new, which was ahead of its time, especially in the 90s when everyone was really just copying what everyone else had done in the past. One Piece walked so that many of these other shows could run. The list would actually go forever if I try to name every influential shonen anime of this decade. So I'm gonna just name a few that I believe to be the most impactful in my eyes. Okay, this is harder than I expected. We can start with Neon Genesis Evangelion. Honestly, wasn't my favorite shonen, but it still had an incredible impact on the community. The aesthetic of the show was unbeatable though. I just loved looking at it, and you can tell that the animation team put so much detail into the little things. But the ending could have been so much better, and that's really my whole qualm with the show. But overall, it pushed shonen forward. Editor Bob here. The show came out in the 90s. Just like, organize your brain patterns to where I said it before this section even started, Thanks. Bleach, I read the manga and watched the anime, and I can say that this is a true shonen anime. Through the good and bad, you can always count on Bleach to hit on every shonen trope. Friendship, betrayal, and the inevitable main character fight with no possible future of winning, and then there comes a random ass pull that gives them the upper hand. Still, Bleach is iconic. We can't talk about Bleach and One Piece in this video without talking about Naruto. Naruto is what I grew up on. Not on a week-to-week basis because I'm too young for that. But it was my first actual anime that I watched, and it's really what got me into shonen. I can assume that it was the same for a lot of people in my generation. Naruto Part 1 is, in my opinion, the perfect gateway into long shonen anime. Part 1 is flawless shonen and really gives a taste of everything. To me, it's the perfect shonen. And that brings us back to the present with our modern shonen anime. It seems like shonen anime is taking more of a turn into the sector of dark and violent tropes, with shows like Dora de Horo, Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen basically piloted this new era of dark shonen anime and turned it into the new norm. I remember when the show first dropped, and it honestly took the world by storm. It being so cold and way darker than most shonen. It was something new and refreshing to the shonen scene of anime. Jujutsu Kaisen also knows how to make excellent characters. Maybe it's because they're a little more modern, and in that way, it's more relatable for people like me. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment telling me what your favorite shonen anime is. And with that, peace y'all.